So welcome back to Driven 276. In today's video, we're going to actually install something called Spring Thing. I've been having a squeak from the rear end of my truck, and it's been coming from the leaf springs. And from what I understand, it's actually if you go off-roading, you get some dirt caught in the leaf springs, and it can cause some squeaking. I did tighten my U-bolts. I thought it was actually going to help the noise. I've actually put some silicone spray on them. I thought that was actually going to help. It hasn't though. But these rubber bushings, or this kit should actually take away the squeak long term. It's a pretty quick install. It takes a screwdriver, jacking the truck up in the rear. We're just gonna walk through it step by step and kind of show you what it looks like, what the process looks like. And I'll report back after a test drive and let you all know if it actually did work. As I'll let you all know that the tightening the U-bolts did not work. It did make the drivability better though. I will say that. It actually does seem to drive a little bit better on the highway. And they were 20 foot-pounds loose. But anyways, let's get started. Let's get this out of the packaging. Let's get the truck jacked up on the driver's side and get it installed. So this is what you get with the kit. This is the Spring Thing. It looks like you just get these 4 rubber bushings, 1 or 2 for each side. I'll actually put the dimensions in the description below of what they are, because you could probably actually use something less than just this kit. Maybe just some rubber pieces that you could order on Amazon. But anyways, I did actually get this kit from Amazon. And the reason I actually purchased it from Amazon versus actually the Spring Thing website, and this is actually a universal kit, as you can see. But interestingly, the universal kit's about the same size, and it'll fit just fine as it would for the GM trucks, or just the specific model truck. The reason I got it from Amazon is because the shipping was free, because I have a Prime membership, and it's actually a quicker shipping than actually if you bought it from the company itself. But again, if you get it from Amazon, you can only get the universal kit from what I did see, so just keep that in mind. So for this job, you can't necessarily jack from the tube of the axle, because you have to let the leaves or the rear wheel hang freely so you can actually get in between the leaves. I would remove the rear wheel. It's rather cold though, and I don't think that you necessarily have to. If it ends up that I need to, I will go ahead and take care of that. But right now we're going to start with just jacking it up with the tire and wheel on. I am going to jack it up with the bottle jack from the frame of the vehicle. I'll show you where. I'm gonna try. I think it'll be fine from what I understand. Just right in front of the rear wheel, right here. I am gonna use this piece of wood on top of the bottle jack. And we're just gonna have to jack it up just a little bit, just enough to get the wheel slightly off the ground. So let's go ahead and get it jacked up and get started. As you can see, it really doesn't take much. I was able to jack the truck completely off the ground. I didn't actually set my bottle jack high enough here. And that's okay, I'll be honest with you, because look here, all you have to do is be able to pull down the leaf spring a little bit, and you have that much clearance. So I'm gonna try to set you down on a tripod and show you that I feel like I'll still be able to stick the Spring Thing in there, the rubber bushing. Let me see if I can set you down a little bit to show you how much space I got. So I can focus in. So I was able to get quite a bit of distance there with just a small screwdriver. If I need to, I'll lower it back down and fix the bottle jack so I can get the truck completely off the ground. But I think that's just going to be enough to squeeze that in there. We're going to find out. All right, so this is actually the front, or the driver's side front of the leaf spring. Let's see if I can get this in. Now it may not work. I may have to lower the truck back down. Let's see, I might have to move the screwdriver. Hold on one second, guys, let's try this. There we go, it might. Okay. Hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back. So don't do like me and actually put it in without putting the zip tie through it first. So what I'm gonna have to do is actually pull this back out and put the zip tie through it and then actually put it back in. That was my own fault. So I spent a lot of time trying to put that in, and now I know a little bit, no different this time. The rear one, I already got it in. It was a lot easier. It's not as tight back there. And the leaf pack itself is a lot easier to pull down. I'll show you the other side on the rear, how to do it. It's very simple. I'm gonna pull this back out and put the zip tie through it, and I'll show you how I do the zip tie. And I'm gonna struggle through it and get this front one in, and then we'll do the other side. That wasn't so bad the second go around. I actually got it in pretty easy. As you can see, there is the rubber bushing in. There's the zip tie on it. Let me show you down below how you, well, came back around to me, so one second. Try to get it up here and show you. There we go. All right, so here's the zip tie. So you don't want to go all the way. The rings were right here. The ears are right here. You just want to kind of go where the zip tie will meet right here on this one leaf and tighten it a little bit. Now they say that you don't want to tighten it to the point to where it's super tight, just enough so it won't move around. That's what I've done. It still has some movement on its own, but whenever it sits down on the ground completely, it'll be tight enough. You don't want to go super, super tight with these. I'm gonna go ahead and clip these off just so they'll be, up a little bit, both the front and also the rear. I don't know if you can see back there, I got the rear done. But anyways, I'm gonna clip these zip ties off and I'm gonna do the other side. So we had a lesson on the front one. We're gonna do the driver's side. So we're gonna do the front passenger side. We're gonna put the zip tie on it first. And I am gonna do it first. I think this time it's gonna be a lot easier because the second go around it was a lot easier too. And then I'm gonna show you the rear, the process on it. It's super simple. The rear takes maybe 5 minutes or less. From what I understand, you don't have to do an alignment after this. And it's, like I said, it's a really easy process, and it's supposed to stop all those squeaks in the rear end from the leaf spring. So let's get this front passenger side one installed. So I'm gonna record some of my struggle with this front one, just so you see. I go in from this front piece right here. I'll show you. You go in kind of right here and just push it up and in as much as possible and kind of wiggle it. Again, this front one is the hardest on this truck, on this particular truck. Now, it'll probably be different on other trucks, possibly. There is some dirt, so let's clean that out. That could be causing some lovely squeaking. Okay. And I'm not using the best screwdriver, I'm gonna be completely honest, because it's very thin. We're about there. This one does not seem to have as much give as the other side, and I don't really know why. But we're almost there anyways. Needs about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, let me look at it. Clean that dirt up from up top. Sorry guys, let me pause this so I don't get the camera all dirty. One second. We got the front one in, so let's do the rear on the passenger side. And here's the muffler. Here is where I'm gonna be putting it in the rear. So it's not as bad. Like I said, it moves by itself. Honestly, there's not a whole lot to have to worry about. But we're gonna go ahead and get the slid in, and I'll show you that process. All right, I hope that you can see this. This one's not very bad at all. Again, it moves very freely for the most part. And it slides right on in. Okay. Grab your zip tie. And this one for sure needs some, needs to be zip tied because you could see where it would move very easily. Okay, I really don't need the screwdriver there anymore. Okay. And GM does have a fix for this. You know, you can take it in, I think, until 2024, where they put a part in of their own, these little rubber grommets that are right below where I'm at. But from what I understand, it does not necessarily fix the issue. It may for a short period of time, but this is supposed to be more of a permanent solution, a longer lasting solution anyways. Let me get my clips right quick and we'll cut those off, those zip ties. These are actually rather massive clips, but they do work. Okay. All right, so let's go to the front here and get that one clipped off. And then we'll be done. Make sure we get that a little bit clipped a little bit better, just to, there we go. All right, and that finishes that. So, in conclusion, we do hope that makes a difference. I really do. We'll see. I'll drive it. I'll let you all know. I'll give you my thoughts on these this new part to actually let you know if it does fix the squeak, especially off-roading. We'll see if we can, if it does stop the squeak, if we go off-roading, is it going to squeak again? That's important to know. And I do highly encourage you all to try to do some of your own work if you don't already, because it's not really that hard. Watching videos like this, not necessarily mine, but anybody's videos. If you want, there's actually some other videos on how to install these as well out there. Maybe not necessarily for the 23 to 26 Colorado, but there is some other trucks. You can use it for reference. And that goes to show for a lot, goes to say for a lot of different parts, not necessarily just these. But if you want to start doing your own work and save some money, get on YouTube and watch some different videos on how to actually, do the install, save some money, and just try to enjoy actually, tinkering and working on your own vehicle. So they didn't fix it. So the spring thing, honestly though, looking at it, I still recommend them because I'd imagine the leaf springs over a period of time, they're going to squeak, especially if you off-road the truck. It might be a different type of squeak. Well, I guess we'll find out if it does mitigate or make any noises less. And plus it's a simple install and it's only $45. So it's probably worth it. No harm, no foul. Again, it's pretty thick rubber and, it might keep the bed squeak type noise or squeak down. Who knows? We'll see. So this squeak that I'm dealing with now, I might try to let you hear it at some point at the end of this video. It's just very minimal. I do off-road the truck, so it might be just something I have to live with. But I do think it might be the brake pads. I can't really tell if it's when I just let off the brakes or when the brakes are on or when they're off. But I have read somewhere in some of the forums that, it could be the brake pads shifting around in the caliper. These are the stock brake pads, haven't messed with them. I might just wait until I do brake pads and rotors if I have to do rotors, and just do some different types of maybe lubricant on the brake pads themselves to see if that helps anything to keep them in place. I do know in the Mustang, I had a horrible noise whenever I put a specific type of shim, or I ordered an aftermarket shim that actually hold the two pins together up front, and they would cause the brake pad to shift up and down. It was not a squeak noise though, it was a horrible noise. It sounded like the whole front end was gonna fall out. I thought it was the struts, the shocks. I tried to figure out everything because I'd actually just put the Ford Performance track struts up front, but it actually ended up being the pads. Because I went down to Chattanooga this past year to Riverside, and I'm telling you, over the bumps, I really thought the whole front end was going to fall out of that car. And I really thought something was loose. you know, other than just the brake pads. But it ended up being the brake pads. And I got down there and I had to do brake work. It was a mess, but I figured it out. And O'Reilly's came to the save with some stock brake pads, but I just used their OEM shims. But anyways, that goes to show that it could just be the brake pads. I have went ahead and, you know, beyond, well, I should say beyond, but beyond my best judgment, we'll say, I went ahead and lubricated everything on the leafs themselves with some silicone penetrant, and we'll see. I don't know, that might have been a bad idea. Who knows? Again, the truck's off-roaded. It's going to have some squeaks, especially, you know, mainly for trucks in the rear end, just because of the way this you know, leaf spring setup is, and that's okay. You know, it is what it is. But coming up next, the install. It's been cold, and it's going to be even colder in the next week. I'm not sure when this video will go out. It probably, you know, I think it's the 19th, I think, right now, of January. Probably the next day or so. But I do have the Wolfbox Tri-Pro to install. I'm excited about it. I'm going to do the hardwire kit. I might just do the actual cigarette lighter install first where it's cold. I do want to do the hardwire kit though, and actually wire it up right. I have some placements of the cameras, both front and rear, where I want to put them specifically to make it helpful off-roading, but also helpful in regards to towing, and also to do some recording, you know, in case I do forget a camera, or just some different camera angles for off-roading adventures. Because, I mean, they have, you know, from what I've seen on the video feed of the Wolfbox, it seems to put off some, you know, have some high quality, you know, camera feed. And actually I did get the polarizer with the kit for the front camera, so, you know, it should have some decent quality video. But we're gonna get that installed. I don't look for it to be that hard, just a lot of wiring, kind of tedious, but I'll do a step-by-step on it. And if it works good, probably what I'll do, honestly, is I'll order, maybe not the Tri-Pro for the Mustang, but I will order one for the Mustang, because I can see that honestly also being very helpful to load the Mustang onto the trailer, especially at the track, because it gets kind of crowded. It'd be nice to have some camera at the bumper so you can see kind of your approach angle onto trailers. And also just, you know, to actually have something recording just while you're at a parking lot for a dash cam type thing. So anyways, until next time, thank you all so much for subscribing. Thanks for watching. I hope that this has been helpful. Again, I know that we didn't really necessarily fix the issue in this video. I'm trying to be fully transparent with anything I put on the truck. You know, of course, but, you know, I still, again, I would recommend this because it's such a simple install. And I'm sure it'll, you know, help some squeaks maybe in the future. But anyways, until next time, see y'all. Bye.